Judge's side job as an actor and stand-up comic raises ethical questions. The state's highest court ruled he cannot do both. That left him with a difficult decision: the stage or the bench. He shares his choice with our Terrell Brown.
Vince Carey has been living something of a double life. Municipal court judge by day, stand-up comedian by night.
Wow, isn't it terrible with being bald and white and looking like the guy in the Amber Alert poster every time?
Is it really possible to separate the careers and the identities?
I absolutely believe that. I believe what I do on stage is an act. It's a performance.
But Thursday, he got word that if he wanted to continue serving on the bench, handling misdemeanors like traffic tickets and restraining orders, he'd have to give up the limelight.
Some hurricanes are even racist. Hurricane Sandy, the hurricane itself, was racist, right? What did it hit? Atlantic City, Jersey Shore, Hoboken, Staten Island. I know a mob hit when I see one.
In a 30-page decision, the New Jersey Supreme Court ruled that Sakari's acting and comedy career were incompatible with the Code of Judicial Conduct.
The Supreme Court is telling me, so long as you are doing both, you can't be a judge.
And you chose comedy.
Yes.
In addition to his stand-up, Sakari has appeared on ABC's hidden camera show What Would You Do?, where paid actors do outrageous things to capture people's reactions.
All we wanted to do was shop.
Yeah, shoplift, not shop. Come on.
In this episode, he plays a store security guard racially profiling black customers.
Do I have to spell it out? What do I need, Ebonics? Come on.
Off-color bits like that led the justices to conclude that such humor by a sitting judge has the clear capacity to demean his judicial office and cast doubt on the judge's ability to act impartially.
That's a character I'm playing on TV. If I was in Pirates of the Caribbean, would you think I was a pirate?
Still, Sakari says he accepts the ruling. He's officially stepped down from the bench and plans to focus full-time on his career in entertainment.
Something as prestigious as being a judge. You know what? I'll forego that to chase this dream.
And so for all of this, it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Judge Vinny, and tonight is our first live episode. We are live. How can I prove that we're live? Look at my phone. It has Lucy's picture, and it has today's date and time, and we are live. Okay, so what we wanted to do is have our first live show, make it as interactive as possible, and throw out a fun thing. So we didn't throw out anything heavy at you or anything that was going to be too newsy or anything that was going to be too comedy. So what we decided on doing is this. We want to throw out 4 conspiracy theories, and we're going to tell stories, and then you have to guess, and you can ask questions while we're live, whether or not it's fact or fiction. Now, why did I choose conspiracy theories? Well, part of the reason is on Monday, we saw Governor Andrew Cuomo come out and explain his debacle with the nursing homes in New York. And what did he say? He said, look, we created a void. We created a void. And when you create a void, people start to fill the void with misinformation and conspiracy theories. Now, first of all, that's not how conspiracy theories work, and that's not how they happen. What happened is you didn't give the information to who you were supposed to give it to, and then you said, well, we were giving it to them, so we couldn't give it to them, and both people asked you the same thing. Anyway, so he said, this is how conspiracy theories come to be. And I don't think that's how conspiracy theories come to be. I think conspiracy theories can come to be in many forms and many ways. So here's what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to have each one of my staff come on with me, and they're going to start telling a conspiracy theory, and you can ask questions. I will interrupt them and ask questions. And at the end, I'm going to try to guess, and you can try to guess with me, whether or not the conspiracy theory is true or false. I'm going to do the same thing at the very end with Ben. And then at the end of that, we're going to have all 4 of us on the screen. If you guys want to throw any questions at us, or you want to throw any comments and tell us how we're doing, not doing, we will do that as well. We wanted to make this as interactive as an episode as possible before we start growing the show and start doing this more often. Okay, so that is the show, and that's going to be the topic for tonight. So let me introduce my producer, director, Jess Miller, into the chambers with me. Jess, thank you for joining me live.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me again.
All right, Jess. So we went back and forth with how we were going to do this, whether or not it was going to be a conspiracy theory or make up a story about ourselves, kind of like this old TV show to tell the truth. And we decided everyone wanted a conspiracy theory. So you're going to start telling me something, and I don't know. We didn't talk about this, right? We didn't prep this. I don't know what you're going to tell me or not. So let's see what you've come up with.
So I think you'll like this one.
Okay.
This is actually a real story. It's a twofer. It's one of your favorite places in the world, and it has to do with Disney World.
Look at what you did. All right.
See what I did there?
You attacked the soft spot.
Are you familiar with Club 33?
I am.
You are. So you know it's real.
Yes.
Okay. So Club 33, for anybody who doesn't know this, is this elite club that you can join in Disney World. It costs like $50,000 to join it, and then like $15,000 a year. But here's the thing. You have these elite people who are actually, so they're also tied to the Living with the Land, which is a ride in Disney World.
Yes.
And they will, so you go through these lands, right?
Right.
On the ride, like the desert and the storm.
In Epcot.
Right.
All right.
And they will take groups of kids and slide them through a secret passage door.
Okay, now hold on a second. So what you're trying to tell me is that people are going on to rides in Disney, and during this one ride, the Land, which is in the Epcot Pavilion, at some point they take kids off the ride and put them through a secret passage door. And where are they taking them?
Well, they sell them.
And they sell the kids.
They sell the kids.
In like the Disney store, online?
Yes. No, to like traffickers.
So you're telling me that
Disney is a big trafficking.
Is traffic now? Okay. All right. Look,
it's a lot like Pizzagate, and I think there's a lot of lizard people that are involved. So it's actually a 3 or 4-fer.
All right. So let me ask you this: how long has this been going on, according to your version of the story?
I think it was built in like 1967.
1967.
67, 68. So, and I think Bush and, well, you know that Walt Disney was a Freemason, right?
Yes, that's true.
And so he was like the 33rd degree Freemason. So that's where the number 33
that's why
comes
33
from.
comes from.
And it's on 33 Royal Street in New Orleans.
All right. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say fake on this one. And I'm looking to see if there's questions. We have people watching, Tracy's watching, Rich is watching, Karen's watching. So far, no question. But I'm gonna say this is fake. And I'm gonna tell you why I think you're wrong on this one. It's because Epcot did not open until 1982.
Right.
So
but Club 33 was built in the 60s.
Club 33 was out in Disneyland.
It wasn't until the 80s that they started abducting children.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that this was a plan, this was a thing. Listen, I know there's a lot of child abductions. I know about 500,000, actually 400,000 to 500,000 kids a year go missing. And look, if you're gonna abduct kids, we're better than Disneyland, where the kids are pouring in. But
well, here's the thing, Vince. My family, we grew up in Oregon, and we went to Disneyland in LA.
You're really selling this. You're really pushing this story.
My sister actually got lost.
Okay.
In Disneyland. And there were these guys in black shirts. And this is where they hide amongst the people. Right?
Okay, so
there's
it's
security
not like,
detail.
So it's not like Mickey Mouse is coming, taking
a picture
with the kid.
It's normal people. It's like
it's normal people that are part of Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And they're abducting kids.
They take the kids through the secret door.
Now, see, you know. See, I know what you did. You went after Disney because you knew I'm going to try. And listen, it's not that I defend Disney to the end, because, I'm mad at Disney right now because of what they did to Gina Carano, thinking that a little bit, you fire her for one bad tweet. Meanwhile, you're doing business in China, which had Muslim slaves and everything. So right now I'm like this with Disney, but I'm still, I don't see anyone making else a call. I'm going to make a call on this one. I'm going to say this is fiction. So what is it, Jess? Is it fact or fiction?
It's both.
It's both. All right. So tell me what's real and what's. We know that the Club 33.
Club 33 is actually real.
Okay.
Pretty sure. Well, I don't know if people are actually children are being abducted because I mean that would be a great place to do it. I'm not behind that, so I just want to preface that by saying I don't believe in trafficking. Right. It's not a funny thing.
And for Facebook and YouTube, we're not making light of this. We're having this is banter to see if we can catch each other in a fake or true conspiracy theory. So we know Club 33 is real. He was amazing. So what part of the story is fake? We don't know anything about child abduction, and we're not saying it's happening at Disney.
Well, there is a fake door in the desert.
Okay. There is a fake door in the desert.
There is a fake door in the desert.
But no one's smuggling kids in there.
But someone got lost in the desert.
Okay. So a kid got lost in the desert, went through the door, and then you took that.
The door is locked.
Okay. Well, you know that now
Epcot unlocked the door.
Okay.
And invited the child in.
Really? An employee?
I don't know.
Okay. So we're going to call your conspiracy theory mostly false.
It's mostly false.
Okay. All right. So you tried to get me on a Disney. You tried to see how evil my director producer is. He went after a sore spot with me. Janice, security is too tight at Disney, right? See, that's the thing, Janice. I'm with you. There's so much security at Disney. You get off a ride, there's cameras everywhere. I think it's easier. I'm going to say it. We saw it. It's easier to attack the Capitol than it is Cinderella's castle. Let's say it. That's okay. There would have been more National Guard pop. I think you even have like Mickey snipers set up somewhere in Imagination to pick people off. That's how much security I think there exists at Disney. So, all right. So Jess's story was like really, really mostly false. All right. So that was a good one. All right. You went after Disney. I like what
I went
you did
after
there.
you, Vince. I'm sorry because
you went straight after me. Okay. Good job on your story. Let's bring in Michael. Michael Sirachi. Many of you know and love him as my legal intern.
Judge Vinny.
How are you, Michael?
I'm good. I'm excited to present to you my conspiracy theory.
Okay, so let's see what you got. What did you come up with?
All right, so you asked me to research conspiracy theories, and I had a great time. I decided to go right wing on this one because I don't know a lot about the right wing conspiracy theories like QAnon and all that stuff. So
I'm with you. I didn't research the QAnon thing. I saw it was kind of weird, and I'm like, whatever.
Well, this is a separate discussion, but it's hard to research QAnon because it's all filtered out because Google won't give you the
any
conspiracy
information.
Theory. They'll just give you the articles disproving it. That's a little fishy, but anyway.
Right.
No, I'm kidding. Cool. Obviously, I don't. So I go on Facebook and I'm typing in all this right wing stuff like Biden in bed with big tech and Epstein and blah blah blah, and I saw a bunch of things, and this is what I found, and there's a spectrum of truth to it. So I'll present you with the original conspiracy theory. Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and the Democrats control Hollywood, and they're producing movies and TV shows and content which sow discord in society so they can garner votes. You have movies that are making people hate religion.
So hold on. Let me cut you off. So when you say they're producing movies, obviously they don't have their own production company, or do they? Are you claiming they have a production company?
No, you got Obama, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton sitting on Epstein's Island with a bunch of Disney execs talking about how they're gonna.
Why do you guys want to beat up Disney on me?
We talked about it already, right? But the point is that they're in bed together and they are trying to. I mean, I was reading again right-wing conspiracy fringe Facebook websites. They're trying. I think the four main things were abolish religion, take away our guns, create racism and poverty, so they can get votes. And they're doing that through Hollywood movies, and that's why you have all the Hollywood actors being so liberal and.
All right, now this is a tough one to prove, to try to guess whether or not it's true or false, because what you're saying is Hollywood is making these movies that, now, the one thing that we're seeing from a lot of movies and a lot of stuff coming out of Hollywood is it certainly has a certain agenda. They certainly have a certain tone with some of the things that they want to push that are in line with the media. But now the question is, are the people that you're saying behind it doing it, or is it just, look, this is the flavor of the month, this is what we're doing right now, like we saw in the 50s with all the religious movies? So this is a tough one. So let me see.
Well, can I ask you a question first?
Please, Rich Nashmi's like, I believe it. So we already have some.
Well,
You
have you
already
heard of
sold
the-
somebody.
Have you heard of the Hollywood Blacklist and the Hollywood
Yes.
10?
Yes.
Okay, so during the Cold War, McCarthy and the director of the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover,
Right.
basically blacklisted anyone with like really a liberal, but they said communist affiliation in Hollywood because they were obviously trying to contain communism. And so the FBI
Right.
illegally broke into a bunch of offices and got all these names and blacklisted anyone who, if they were associated with the Black Panthers or any like sort of alleged communist group, they couldn't work in Hollywood anymore. So that was how long ago
And we
was
know,
that?
and we do know that Walt Disney was supposedly part of gathering information for the government with regards to McCarthy hearings. So we know that he was involved with that. Okay. So
And we
now
also know that the Pentagon censors war movies. We know that certain movies like Black Hawk Down, what's one with Tom Cruise, Top Gun, even Forrest Gump was censored by the Pentagon. So we know that there's facts. There's factual evidence that the government has censored Hollywood. And now the question is, to what extent are the Democrats doing it?
all right, I'm going to say that your conspiracy theory is also mostly false. I'm going to say I don't think it's gotten to the point where Clinton, Bush, Obamas are actually producing the movies to do it. And the main reason is they have nothing to gain. They could just go on talk shows and do it. They could just do, speeches. They could do their rallies. They could do all that stuff. I don't think they need to manipulate Hollywood. I think Hollywood can manipulate the stories the way they please. So I'm going to say this is mostly false, if not completely false. So what do we got? True or false?
All the sort of fringe right wing, the Democrats are colluding thing is false, but the government constraining the creative lens of Hollywood from the Cold War up until now with war movies is 100% true. I mean, if you're producing a
And
war
I believe
movie,
that. Yes.
yeah, and you want access to an aircraft carrier or army people or whatever, you have to submit your scripts to the government to get that material, and then they make revisions. And we see that with all these movies, like again,
And that makes sense.
Top Gun.
That makes sense. Right. That makes sense. Because again, if you start showing battle plans and things like that, even though it's after the fact, it could tip our hand or could give information to enemies or whatever the case might be, or give secrets with regards to missions.
But it's not even like that, though. It's like the Pentagon saying, like, we don't want you depicting American soldiers in this light. Like in Forrest Gump, Forrest Gump's whole unit was supposed to be, how him and Bubba are like kind of dim, and they're both, the whole unit was supposed to be dim originally. And that was supposed to be an allusion to like McCarthy's 100, which is when McCarthy had the sort of IQ lowered and the IQ requirement lowered in the army to recruit more people. And he ended up recruiting a bunch of like mentally disabled people into the army. And the Pentagon was like, nope, you can't do that. So then the producer of Forrest Gump had to change it so only like those two specific characters were. Anyway, the point is, it's not just simply.
And this is why I love my legal intern, Michael Srirachi. Do you see the homework he did on this?
Oh,
do you
I
see
have been
how
prepping all week.
I can list
deep
into this.
10 movies for you, Judge Vinny. Black Hawk Down. Black Hawk Down depicted a soldier who was a real life person and then left the army and raped someone. And the Pentagon was like, you can have our helicopters, but if you want our helicopters, you can't have the soldier in the movie. So.
And the truth is, more than 2 helicopters went down that day. A lot of people don't know that. It wasn't just 2 helicopters. There was a lot going on. All right, Michael, you did great. I like the way you came up with the story. You did your homework, did the research. Now everyone knows why I love Michael Srirachi so much. He digs deep. He gets excited about this. And you did a great job with the story. So good job, Michael.
Thanks, Janice.
So far, I'm going to say so far I'm 2 for 2. I think I'm 2 for 2 on these guesses. Let's bring in Ben. Ben, we know, is going to have a crazy story. Look at
Judge Vinny.
Ben, so far I'm kind of 2 for 2. All right.
On Michael's thing.
Yes.
There was a crazy documentary with Mark Wahlberg where he was pretending to be a Navy SEAL and he was the only one to survive. Like.
Now you're getting crazy. All right. Now it's just where. All right. So here we go. Ben, I told you come up with something. Try to convince me whether it's true, false. Now we're going to see. Let's see what you got. Go ahead.
Judge Vinny, what if I told you that the Chinese government is systematically and nefariously committing forced sterilizations and genocide against the Muslim minority, the Uyghur people in the Northwest region. What if I told you that COVID is killing Uyghur people at a higher rate, much like COVID is killing Black and Latino people at a higher rate in the United States? What if I told you that COVID happened to originate in a place called Wuhan, and that China happens to have a biosafety level 4 lab in Wuhan, and China only happens to have one biosafety level 4, the top level lab? And what if I told you that?
What if I asked you?
Yeah.
Where would you get this information from about China if the Chinese, while doing all of this stuff, would be very secretive about it? So how would this information come to my law clerk in research? Where would someone find this information?
You're spot on, Judge Vinny. China has a lot of power, and they've done a lot to suppress this narrative. The Chinese government has a lot of influence in the World Health Organization. It's one of the reasons why the Trump administration pulled out. I believe that decision was misguided, but nonetheless, that was part of their calculus. The World Health Organization just concluded a 14-day investigation into the Wuhan labs. Richard, it was on Hunter's laptop. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Richard.
Eileen, you missed Eileen. Eileen is true. Everyone is jumping on this one. The conservatives are all in. Ben, you've convinced all my but again, you're avoiding. You're avoiding my question.
Where were you? Kenya.
Hold on. You're avoiding my question. Where is this information that you're getting to make you come up with this theory? See, that's my only question. So it's a good conspiracy theory, but my question is, how is this information this accessible to someone like you? Wouldn't they be hiding this information? So what's your source? Are you willing to disclose your source?
Of course, Judge Vinny, I will gladly disclose my source. The most important source is a case that's currently pending in the British legal system, charging Xi Jinping and the Communist Party of China with genocide.
Okay. See, you answered that way too quickly and way too confidently for me to even try to dismiss this as a fictional piece. So I'm going to say that this conspiracy theory is mostly true. You sold
Judge
me
Vinny,
on this.
There's one last piece.
Oh, hold on. All right. This is where you're going to try to throw
a little sauce I need to put in here.
Go ahead.
The Chinese Communist Party planted the COVID virus because it knew it would throw its enemies into disarray. The United States, the worst enemy of China, the worst victim of COVID. The Uyghur people, the worst enemy of the Communist Party, the most damaged victim of COVID. China created COVID in a lab, gave it to the world, and is using it to kill Uyghur Muslims.
Okay. Well, look, we know that they have at least 1 million Muslim slaves in China. I'm going to say that your conspiracy theory is more true than false. However, I don't know that there's information available for you to take your theory to a place where the Chinese weaponized as specifically as you're claiming. Now, Eileen is saying yes because of Trump's deal forcing China to stop. I'm going to say that it's more true than not, but not completely true.
And it comes back to probably the most central theme of Judge Vinny, information control. We'll never know if it's really true because China is controlling the information.
That's it. So, is your conspiracy theory true or false?
It's true enough.
It is. It's more true than false. All right. All right. Good job. I like the way you sold that, Ben. I like the way you sold that.
Thanks,
you
Coach.
did a good job. All right. But I have one for you.
Okay.
What if I told you, now this is my conspiracy theory for people to chime in. What if I told you our CIA, our very own government, used American citizens in a mass experiment, okay, where not only did they chemically induce them with drugs and psychotropics to try to control their mind alter them in a hypnotic way, okay?
Okay.
I'll tell you, they took it a step further. They actually had prostitutes on payroll
Wow.
that they would pay
Hey.
to lure people.
Did they have health insurance?
To lure
I hope
people.
they did.
Okay. What if I told you this? I'm going to up the ante. Not only did they have prostitutes on payroll, what if I told you that several universities in the country, and when I say several, let's say 80 or more, were involved in capturing unsuspected citizens to be involved in this psychotropic, mind-bending experiment.
Judge Vinny.
Yes.
I think that's just called Berkeley.
And they did this then all to defeat communism. What if I told you that was what if I told you it was all to defeat the Russians? I'm going to up the ante, Ben, because you're still thinking.
Yeah.
All right. Are you familiar with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yes.
Okay. What if I told you the person that wrote that book, Ken Kesey, volunteered for this project the CIA had to be part of this study? Does that change your mind as to whether or not this story is true or not? Eileen wants to sign up for this LSD program.
Eileen, open your eye. I would tell you that Jerry Garcia's wife, Carolyn Garcia, who was working at the mass spectrometer lab at Stanford at the time, probably drove Kesney to his appointment with the CIA.
So, am I spinning a story here? Is this all just made up? Is it partially made up? Is some of this in truth? Or is this just crazy? Our government would never do this to its own people, all to defeat the Russians. We're gonna drug our own people to defeat the. Come on.
I would say our government's done worse. You know, our government has done unspeakable evil. You know, we can go down the laundry list. Think of Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
But if drug our own people at universities. At universities.
Listen, communism made people do crazy things. When McCarthyism was in full flight, it was like nothing that I've ever lived through. It was like this finger points, and whoever gets pointed out is done. Okay. So I can't rule anything out during that period, especially if it was justified by communism.
I just threw out to you universities were involved. The CIA had prostitutes.
Okay,
on
which
payroll.
universities? Which universities were involved?
I'm going to say at least 80 well-named universities. You're talking about the top universities in the country.
Do we know any specifically?
I didn't go that deep into my research. What if I told you that?
Okay.
What if are you buying, or is there any part of the prostitution, the university, the use of LSD? Is there any of this? That sounds like I'm kind of pulling your leg.
Richard is saying I don't trust the CIA or FBI anymore. I tend to agree. You know, the FBI murdered Martin Luther King. That's not even a conspiracy theory at this point. It's more like history. So, you know, give it 10 years. This will be not a fringe conversation in a quickly growing web series, but it'll be, you know, a chapter in your U.S. history textbook. Deb is saying the bombing of Japan was necessary to save millions. Deb, hey, all right. Everything the judge is saying
possibly happened. I believe our government is possible. So we have a possible. Where are you, Ben? Are you possible? Are you sold? Or are you disputing?
I'm probable, barring certain plot points. Like I'm curious to what extent there's documentation supporting the prostitutes, for example. I believe the overall spine of the story and the thrust of this narrative. I believe the CIA has done horrible things. It's committed coups in Latin America. We could talk about Operation Condor in Bolivia, Chile, Argentina in the 80s, motivated by Milton Friedman's laissez-faire economics, the Chicago boys.
Ben, what if I told you this? What if I told you my story is not only true, it is 100% true. That from 1953 to 1973, under a program called MK Ultra, okay, our CIA did everything that I just told you. And the only reason we came to know about it was, even though all of these things that they were doing went against everything in Nuremberg and the Nazi trials, all of this was done in an effort to try to capture Russians, and try to, use mind-altering techniques to gather information and turn them into spies unwittingly for us. Right. That from 1953 to 1973 this happened. Then our CIA tried to destroy the records. However, 20,000 pages of these records were later discovered about 4 years later and then declassified by President Carter, President Reagan, and ever since. Everything, including the prostitutes, use of prostitutes, everything, 86 universities in total were used. They did use LSD. And in fact, Ken Kesey did volunteer to be part of this program because the program was actually becoming well known. He did volunteer, and that's why he wrote the book, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So everything that I told you was 100% accurate. That is not a conspiracy theory. It's proven.
These prostitutes. How is this working?
The judge doesn't lie, Ben.
Judge. If it pleases the court, a clarifying question. You tell me these prostitutes are like walking around college campuses like, "Hey, honey,
if
I'll suck your hair if you do an LSD experiment."
Here's the crazy story, okay?
JFK was a Chinese spy. Richard, what the hell?
So the CIA actually had prostitutes on the payroll, and they would lure people into empty warehouses where the people would be kidnapped and brought back to a lab where they would do this. That's actually in the documentation. And this has been part of a series of movies, whether it be the one that, Born Ultimatum. They used a lot of MK Ultra. Mel Gibson, his conspiracy theory movie that was very popular, I think, late 90s, in fact.
I think it was something called like It's the Jews' Fault.
All right, let's bring everybody back in. Come on, Jess. Let's do a quad box here for the first time live. We have a quad box on Judge Vinny. This is an opportunity for everyone that's been watching it, and we have Eileen. Has been great. We have Richard Nashme, who's been checking in. Tracy Dawn is always checking in. So far, we have about 17 people watching. First of all, for all my fans that are watching live, thank you so much for checking in. We really, truly appreciate this as we're growing the show. And I know that Ben, Michael, and Jess really are enthusiastic about being part of this, and they love seeing the feedback and they read the comments. So thank you very much for that. But this is your opportunity to fire away and ask us questions about any of the episodes, personal or otherwise. Ben, some people would question what single or not. I don't know. He went out for coffee. Yeah, whatever. That's
Mate.
He went out for a latte.
Mate. Judge Vinny, the Argentinian herb, yerba mate.
So fire away, anybody. If you have questions for us, this would be your opportunity to talk to us. Jess, if you see anything come up on a scroll, let us know.
Vince, I just want to add to your conspiracy theory. That's true. They took them on that boat ride in Disney.
They did.
That's how they got them.
No kidding. Look at Jess. Jess just wants to destroy every bit of everything I have for Walter Elias Disney.
I heard Donald Duck took out his Donald Ding Dong.
It's amazing how she wants to crush the happiest place on earth for me. She just wants to do. Jess, it's not going to happen. My dream is this. Janice, by the way, thank you for checking in, Janice. Janice is another very loyal fan. Janice Janendo.
Hi, Janice.
Jess knows what my retirement dream is, and it's to work. It's to drive the monorail at Disney in Florida.
I have
want
a
to be the
feeling you're going to be a
monorail.
security guard in Florida.
I want to be the monorail driver. I want to have as little responsibility as possible and keeping a train on a monorail and hitting a
Vinny.
button to open and close doors. That's my future. That's the way I'm going to retire.
Judge Vinny, the court's handing down a decision. The court's handing down a decision. You have to choose between being the monorail driver and being a judge.
I'm the monorail driver. I'm doing a monorail driver.
After everything Jess just said about all the crazy stuff that happens at Disney, you want to work there?
Michael, you are not going to ruin this for me.
Thank you, Michael. Okay? Thank you.
Okay? The three of you can hate it all you want. It's the most magical place on earth. And as soon as we don't have to wear masks anymore, I'm going back. Wonder what
What's
the
more
underground
magical than child labor?
Eileen wondered what the underground in Disney is actually for.
All right. So now here's the truth. All right. I'm going to tell you what it's for. So
yeah,
I actually did a tour of the corridors in Disney. So what a lot of people don't know is Magic Kingdom is actually, when you walk down Main Street Magic Kingdom, you are not on the ground level of the property. You are actually on the second floor of the property. So when they bought all of that swampland, what Walter Disney did when he was in his hospital bed designing, they trenched out all of the property and created these, I forget what they're called specifically. They're not corridors. There's a specific name for it. They built these tunnels to go through all of the different lands in Magic Kingdom, and then took the dirt that they trenched up and covered all of those corridors, which became the underground. And the reason Walt Disney did that is because he didn't want to have characters out of place in different lands. So if you were a Tomorrowland person and you had to get to Tomorrowland from one of the other properties, it would look weird if you were in an alien suit walking through Frontierland. So you will never see. Michael doesn't believe me. This is true.
It sounds like the perfect cover-up for trafficking. I'm sorry.
It's not a traffic.
We want people to see the different.
It's not.
Janice just
They
said,
are not
isn't it a big
So
security
they
area? Hold on,
Janice.
Janice has something to say here. Isn't
Yes.
it a big security area to watch for crime and kidnapping?
I have something to say to that, Janice.
Go ahead.
Did you see the video like 6 months ago of the dude just going berserk at Disney and attacking everyone around him? And there's no security. Like, I don't think Disney is really that
was
secure.
Disneyland. All right, that was Disneyland, and that was a video of a guy.
That
getting
was
into a
LA.
fight.
That's where you are, Ben.
All right, that's LA. So you know what? That's that weird California thing that you people are doing out there. Okay, the crazies in Florida don't do that. All right, so I just want. There's a different type of crazy. No, that actually did happen. There are fights, and the security actually got there. What I thought was a little bit slow. I'm not going to lie. That video
Very
went on
slow.
The
security didn't do anything.
Minutes.
It was just a guy in the crowd.
That's because they were too busy. That's because they were too busy in the desert on the boat.
They are not taking kids into the desert.
Yeah,
Stop saying that.
There's no evidence. There's no evidence. There's no evidence.
We're going to get deplatformed. Stop saying that.
Okay, you're right.
Yes.
Mickey Mouse is going to deplatform us. I swear to God. I'm going to get a phone call tonight that's going to say, ha, you're off of my Facebook. So stop it.
Hey, Judge Vinny, you done fucked up. You bit the hand that feeds you. Now I'm going to chop off your goal.
Ha, no more YouTube for you, Vinny. Ha. So no, stop it, okay?
This is what the tunnels are for. This is what the tunnels are for under Disney. Everyone knows there's 3 Jonas Brothers, but actually there's thousands and thousands of Jonas Brothers, and all of the mutations that didn't quite get sexy enough or hit the high C got put underneath Disney, and they're forced to push a slow tractor, and they sing songs from the Lord of the Rings.
Let me tell you something.
Quiet act of rebellion, and they power the park.
It's also the reason you never see garbage collecting at Disney, because they have these enormous vacuum tubes that they throw the garbage in, and it gets sucked out off property, or not off property, off of the Magic Kingdom. So you never smell garbage, you never see garbage.
Because all of those, it out of the mouth anytime.
Wouldn't it be amazing if they could do that in New York City?
You know what, Michael? I hope you meet a girl that loves Disney and she wants to.
I hope you meet a girl.
Well, that's true. And I hope she breaks up with your ass when you refuse to take her to Disneyland. Okay, I hope that happens to you now. I hope she breaks your heart.
Too soon, Judge Vinny.
I hope she breaks your heart in the haunted castle, in the haunted mansion.
Judge, he's down bad. I don't know if you need to.
Oh, I love
bad.
Michael, and our audience does too. All right, Richard Ashby, let's say a prerequisite to driving a tram at Disney World, Judge, is driving a tram car and AC up and down the boardwalk. There is no more boardwalk. They just blew up another part of the boardwalk today.
Yeah, they blew up the Trump. They blew up Trump's old casino.
Yeah, Trump's.
Did they really?
Yeah, hilarious.
It's been empty. It's been empty since 2014. So really good job for Atlantic City getting on that right away. Yes, that only took 7 years to jump on imploding a building that's been abandoned.
You know what else has been empty since 2014?
What's that?
Donald Trump's soul.
Oh my God! Why, Ben? Why do you try to alienate half of the audience?
Sorry. No, guys. Listen, I love Trump.
Why do you try to alienate? Hold on, Vinny. You are seriously addicted to Disney. No, let me tell you.
Thank you, Deb.
I knew this was a good one.
Thank you, Deb.
No. Hold on, Deb. Let me tell you. Tracy Dawn is laughing. No, hold on a second.
Tracy.
It's not a question. It's not a question of addiction. It's not a question of addiction.
It is.
No, what it's a question of is it's a happy place to go, and just Trump didn't
want that building any longer.
He didn't. He didn't actually. He didn't own it. No, it's true. He didn't own it. It's been shut down. But no, let me tell you something. No. Hold on a second. Let's go back to the Disney thing. Okay. I'm not going to argue about Trump. Trump is gone. Let me get back to the Disney thing. Let me tell you something. It is truly the happiest place on earth. Okay. And if you guys don't feel the magic when you go there, it's the reason, and some people don't. And the reason is because you're dead inside.
You're dead inside.
That's way
so you've been to Magic Kingdom.
You're dead inside. There's a part of you.
True. You're a goblin.
Yes, your soul is just dark. It's darkness in your soul if you don't get it. So that's my take on why people don't get it.
Happiest place on earth. You've seen Magic Kingdom in Disney. Have you been to Magic City in Atlanta?
Tracy Dawn just posted she's never been to Disney. Is that possible? Am I reading that correctly? Is that now, like, how have you never been to Disney? Like, have you?
Because I don't support Chinese-owned enterprises, Judge Vinny.
Michael, you're going to upset me. I want to know right now. I want you to answer this question, yes or no. Have you ever been to Disney World?
You know, a guy who's tall.
Yes.
Looks like
okay.
Yes.
How many times?
This is your opportunity.
Let's see. I was in Beijing when I was 12.
You went to Disney China, nonetheless.
No, I've been to the Orlando one.
You've been to Orlando.
It's a place to rip you off. Someone spent $12K on one freaking week for 4 people. That's insane. That's right, Deb. It's a shrine to capitalism with a thin veneer of play.
Let me tell you something.
Hey, I want to just wait. I want to go back to this whole addiction thing that you're not addicted, because I have a video of you that says that you are.
Oh, let's
see this.
This is what we're going to do now. We're going to do now. I'm going to see this.
It's just live.
Oh yeah.
I want to see this conspiracy theory.
Here we go. I don't know. Can you guys see this? This is Vince right here.
I think we're gonna. We're gonna have.
Listen to this. Listen to this. Hold on.
Or if you're like a guy who's maybe into Disney in a really creepy, probably likes it way too much way. You can also
that's what we're doing. That's what we're gonna do.
Let it ride, Jess. Come on,
first of all, that discovery was not cleared before it was brought to court. It was not exchanged as part of ongoing discovery, so it's excluded. Deb Cundiff, I have never been either. No desire, can't afford it. All right, listen, it is pricey. It is very expensive. Yeah. I will be the first to admit it's it's made for people that live in Florida.
Thanks, Eileen.
Look at Eileen laughing.
Hey, don't worry, don't go to Disney. Just get Disney Plus.
Hey, let's do that Mickey Mouse voice again.
All of you are fired. Ha ha. It'll be a very new Judge Vinny show next week. I'm going to tell you right now. You see the 3 faces on this screen? I think they're going to be replaced. I think they're going to be replaced, and they're going to be replaced by the Mickey Mouse Club. I'm going to find people that were members of the Mickey Mouse Club to replace my staff. All right. We've been on for almost 45 minutes. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. What we want to do, and a lot of the feedback we've been getting, and by all means, give us feedback on this video, is I know you guys want to see us on more. You want to see us do more of this, more one-on-one banter. People have asked me, how about, you and Ben just do a segment, then you and Michael one night, you and Jess another night. Guys, we would love to. Obviously, everyone is working. Everyone is trying to pay bills, struggling as we do it. We're not making the money we used to make. So I'm going to talk to my staff, see how we can make that a thing. Maybe we could start doing it. I have the Friday legal briefs that I do in the afternoon, but we hear you with regards to that. The other thing we're hearing is keep these shorter. The Judge Vinny episodes are a little bit long, but we're giving a lot of information. Some people have said chop them up into smaller episodes. Please continue to give us the feedback. I know a lot of you don't want to post on the threads because then you're like, then my phone keeps giving me notifications and everything else. That's fine. DM me. Send me personal messages. The other thing is this: follow Jess Miller. Jess, where can we find you?
Jess Miller Comedy on Facebook.
Okay.
Or Jessler7 if you want to be my friend. I tagged you in a post, so if you put it on your Facebook, they can find me.
Fine. Michael, where can we find you?
Instagram and Facebook.
What's the at?
M Srirachi.
Okay, and where else can we find you? Maybe performing comedy live sometime soon?
Yes, next Saturday.
Yes.
Next Saturday.
It will be on YouTube.
Where will you be? Where will you be?
Bethesda, Maryland.
Bethesda, Maryland. Find Michael Srirachi. Go give him love and support. He's trying comedy for the first time ever. This is what we want to say. Ben, where can we find you? Other than a marijuana dispensary in LA. Where can we find you, Ben? Fucking love Ben. I love
Pornhub.com.
Oh,
in the comment section.
Where can we find you, Ben? Come on.
This is the only place safe from censorship.
I'm on Instagram, Ben Goodfriend, Twitter, TikTok, all the dumb shit that kids are doing these days. I do it all. I've sold out completely.
Follow Ben. He puts up great stuff. Everyone, this is become a new family for me. So I really enjoy doing these. Hopefully you do too. Yes, we're going to try to do more of them. Yes, we're going to try to have more fun. So please continue to support us. But what you must do, please go to YouTube, subscribe to my channel, hit subscribe. It costs you nothing. It doesn't cost you anything. And the more that you subscribe, all you got to do is click on the little subscribe belly thing. And the more you do that, the more that this can grow and become a bigger thing, and we can start to monetize it and get better equipment and make this better. And Jess's job will be easier. Look, she doesn't even have wireless headsets yet. I want to get Jess AirPods. We're trying to raise money to get Jess AirPods. So seriously, subscribe, like, share, spread the word. Thank you.
When you guys at home, can you just buy Jess AirPods? Like when you guys on Wall Street or something, just get her some AirPods. Come on,
send her AirPods. Jess, get us out of here. Thank you, everybody. Well done.